So, welcome to Journey on Conversations. This is a monthly webcast where we talk with leaders and members of Fayetteville First Baptist Church and beyond about what it means to pursue the Christ-centered life. So, my name is Aaron Hulse. I'm the pastor of discipleship here at Fayetteville First Baptist Church. And with me today, I have Kirk Smith and Matt Martin, who are both our leaders in our men's ministry. And so I want to get a chance for you to get to know them more, hear their heart, and what our men's ministry is about. So real quickly, Kirk, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I am from Mississippi, moved to Georgia 21 years ago and married my wife, Mickey, shortly after that. We've got 4 children. We've got Ty, who's 17, Cole's 15, and Haley and Luke are 14. We've been, we were members at First Baptist Woodstock for years, and then moved down here about 8 years ago in search of a new church home when we were relocated here, and found Fayetteville First Baptist and knew that this is where the Lord was leading us to serve. And so we've been members here ever since and love it down here and live in Fayette County and just love this community and happy to be here.
Well, I'm so glad the Lord led you here. I think you came to the church about the same time I did. And never did I know that, one, you'd become such a strong, great friend in my life, but also be able to lead the men's ministry like you're doing. And I just thank God for you every day. One of the cool things is God's led some other people into our ministry. One of those is Matt Martin. And we're just so grateful for him. He grew up here, but I'm going to let him tell you about himself as well. Matt, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. I got beautiful wife Jennifer and our 2 awesome kids. Madeline is 12 and Davis just turned 10. I got my family moved here when I was in the 7th grade to Fayetteville, and we were at Fayette First Baptist about 6 months prior to Jim Battles joining the church as a youth pastor. So I got to grow up at Fayette First Baptist for the most part, and then got married, and we went away for just a few years, and then found our way back a handful of years ago through Vacation Bible School and with our daughter, and got back into the church, and now we so thankful to be back and be involved, and kids involved in Grow, and Jennifer involved in women's ministries along with Mickey, Kirk's wife, and just a blessing to be able to come alongside Kirk and him letting me to do something with him. I mean, it's tough to deal with, but he's fun to be around. Just kidding. But we have a good time, and we're thankful for the opportunity for sure.
Well, that's awesome, Matt. I'm so glad God led you and your family back to Fayetteville First Baptist. And you have been such a great impact, not only in our church as a leader, but in our men's ministry. And also, again, just a great friend to me. So thankful for that. So want to just kind of hear your heart too. What is it about men's ministry? What is it? What gives you the passion that you have to want to serve in our men's ministry? Kirk, I'm going to throw that to you first, buddy.
I think God leads us in the direction and the path that he has for us. And we're all gifted in different ways, and we take spiritual gifts tests and figure those things out. Some are the hands, some are the feet, and we figure out where we're most needed in the church life. And by the church, I mean the body of Christ. And so in doing so, I kind of came alongside a guy named Danny Singleton at First Baptist in Woodstock, and he was leading the men's ministry at the time. And in doing so, I kind of realized that may be where I was being led, in a men's ministry sort of venue, and being around guys and just love, hanging out with guys. But then as you start realizing that, when you can win a man to Christ, you win the family to Christ. And man, that just makes a big difference too. And just saying, we've got to put men in the driver's seat. We've got to let men understand that we can be real. We can have fun, and we can still love Jesus, and we can still lead our families the way we need to lead our families. And in that also, when I lost my dad not long after I joined the church here, it really became evident and made me even more, apparent. It made it more apparent of how much I needed my Heavenly Father even then. And it's tough to lose your father, but the the flip side of that is I gained more of a relationship with my Heavenly Father. And in so doing, it really pointed me even more towards the men's ministry. I joined a prison ministry team, the Saints Prison Ministry, and we started doing that. And obviously that's all guys there. There's been no doubt, through all these things that God's led me into the men's ministry. And through doing that, reading different books and things, and even especially the Bible, and seeing David and how he's a man after God's own heart, and even through his failures, there's ways that we can work and do things for the kingdom of Christ. Not that we can earn our salvation or anything like that, but just being a warrior instead of a worrier. I spent a lot of time for a long time worrying about different things, and then realizing that God's got it in his hands, and we can be warriors for Christ. We can be in his army, and we can fight these battles, and we can be alongside him. And that's just been so awesome to me to see that we can still be men. We can still have the masculinity that we were given. We can still have the competitiveness that we were given, and still live for him and worship him and love him. And obviously the most important factor is his love for us. So.
Man, that's incredible, Kirk. And I mean, it's awesome to see you at work in the men's ministry. Men are drawn to you. There's something about you, just your personality, your heart. And that's really what it is your heart, your character, and your love for men. And the fact that you're just so transparent that men are drawn to you. And I've just been able to witness that. How many years now have you been the men's ministry leader here?
7 years. So we were only here about a year before I was asked to be the men's ministry leader. So 7 years now.
So it's pretty evident to us. I mean, you had a heart for that, but we saw that in you, and certainly the kingdom of God has benefited because of your role and your investment in men's lives here at Faithful First Baptist. Matt, what about you, buddy? What is it that has given you the passion for serving in our men's ministry? Why do you do that?
Oh, thanks, Aaron. Like you said, you get drawn into a personality like Kirk Smith, and you get to be involved in some of the events that happen. And then when you just don't go away and you're just there, then all of a sudden Kirk asks you probably should just help me instead of just showing up all the time. So part of it was not knowing what you wanted to do. You pray and ask God to what he can what you can do more in your community or with your church. And sometimes you got to be careful what you pray for. But in my case, I was thankful because he brought me. I think I'm actually going to tear up. Sorry, he brought me a friend like Kirk and a few other guys, and brought in the men's ministry to my life when I needed it, and friends that needed it to be a part of that would be a part of me to help grow me and be a better parent, friend, and just know that it's okay that we go through things, and to be able to tell other men about that. So that's one of the things that I think that we help each other, that it's okay to go through these things that we learn, and then we want to tell other men in our group about what it is that we've had to deal with. And that's what's drawn me back all the time that we do this monthly or quarterly, or the sportsman's dinner event, just that the men that come, you have the opportunity to get in front of and to draw closer, and put little spits of Jesus in their life. And men that maybe not are going to come to our church, but will come to an event or do things with us and in our community, and just to have that outreach. But for sure, just something that I prayed about personally, to be, how can God work on me? And then lo and behold, I get to be really close with Kirk and get to be involved in our men's ministry. And then really, just when you start going to something a lot and you won't leave, then they pretty much ask you to help. But Kirk's been come alongside him and help grow the men's ministry, and with your leadership, Aaron, to sometimes needing that push, needing that extra little bit that
Sure.
it's okay. You guys are doing the right thing, going down the right road. So a lot of words there, but that it's been a great blessing for sure for me, and then be able to bless other men.
Absolutely, Matt. I'm so thankful for you, buddy. And not only are you a leader just in the church as a deacon, I know you've been teaching Sunday school, but you lead a men's ministry group weekly, and just thank you for your investment in the lives of men. And so grateful again that God's led you back here. And I'm just so thankful for your friendship. And both of you guys have helped make me a better man. You know, a man who follows after Christ and has, like Kirk said, it has found enjoyment in doing things that men like to do: shoot guns, go into prisons, play softball, you know, just burn stuff, whatever it is we do. But we've been able to do it, helping to sharpen each other in our walk with Christ. And I know that's certainly affected my life. So thank you to you two guys. I want to hear, or at least for the church to hear, really, what is it that the men's ministry has been doing to help men grow closer to a Christ in their life, to help them become the disciples that God has called us to be? Kirk, how do you see the men's ministry doing that?
I think the biggest area is just like what you just said about Matt leading the weekly Bible study and doing the things. And sometimes, you know, I go to Matt's group as much as I can. And, you know, there's sometimes when, you know, there may only be one verse read, or there may, you know, there's not a lot maybe of biblical teaching as much as there is sharpening each other. You know, we read one verse and that may just, you know, spur on a conversation for somebody and that needs it, or there may be some prayer requests, or there may be some needs, you know, that men have that we can only share with each other, or that we only feel comfortable sharing with each other. And a lot of times it is, you should only share it with each other. And we've got a group of guys that can sharpen one another, and it can lean on one another and pray for one another. And I'm super thankful for that. And Matt's done just such an amazing job, you know, staying in touch with guys and reaching out to people and just putting these groups together. And it's awesome to have him come alongside me. And I mean, where I'm weak, he's strong, and he's really picked up my slack in that. And I'm so thankful for that. But, you know, beyond that, you know, we want guys to be involved in church. We want the guys to lead their families to church, because if they're not going to lead them, who's going to, kind of thing. You know, our sportsman's event is a good outreach, and we've gotten several families who have joined the church because of that. So that's a great thing. But ultimately, like Matt said, getting guys in an atmosphere where they feel comfortable, where maybe they wouldn't before, and we present the gospel of Christ to them, and they're able to take that back with them. And hopefully there are lots of lives changed through those. And you know, the kingdom is growing. You know, there's so many aspects that we try and lean on. You know, the guys that come to the discipleship groups, you know, you want them to take those things home with them, and whether they're coaching a ball team or, you know, going to work with these things, and they're able to share those things. So each one reach one, kind of thing. And I think that's the biggest impact we can make.
That's awesome. I know one of the things that we do, the monthly fellowships, and it is fellowship. We didn't mispronounce that. It's a bunch of fellers getting together to sharpen each other, encourage each other. But like Kirk said, it's one of the things that we do that there might be a lot of men who just don't necessarily feel comfortable for whatever reason coming into the church building. But if we're shooting guns, or we're shooting at clay pigeons, or we're going to hit golf balls, or we're burning stuff out at Kirk's property, whatever it might be, that appeals to a man. And like we said, like Kirk and Matt have said, we've tried to do what we can, like Paul said, become all things to all people, to connect with them on that level, so that we can use the bridge of that to share the gospel, or to help them to realize their need to grow in their walk with Christ. I've seen that in so many lives in our men's ministry because of yours and Matt's investment. Matt, what about you? What do you see? How do you see our men's ministry fulfilling the mission of the church to make disciples, to help people move toward a Christ-centered life?
Yeah. So first off, if you're someone out there that thinks he's never heard from me or gotten a text or an email, just send me your info and you'll get in the group chat. I've got a few of them that Kirk talks about. And again, you know, I think sometimes you get caught up in, I know I do, and Kirk helps straighten me out, and on how many people that we want to have, you know, come. We want 5,000 or 50,000 men, and really you get 5 or even 1, and there's a reason for it, right? So we need to do these events, and out of the hundreds that come to our Sportsman's Dinner event, you know, it doesn't matter. We're just there for the one man that needs to have something happen that night that's in his life that's going on, and that we can reach out to him. And we have some breakfast, and we have on Monday nights, every other Monday during the month, we try to get men together, and it's just trying to be a ripple in the water, just to drop that little nugget and then just see the ripples go, because you might only have one or two, but that one or two then talk to five or six or whatever, just the ripple in the community. And we've seen that personally, me and Kirk have, through having men that are outside of our church into our group. And that's the other thing that's about. It's not just about our church, it's about our community. So I think sometimes the misconception is, I don't go to your church, I don't go to Fayette First Baptist, so I can't be a part of it. And that's totally the wrong thing. We want everyone, our men in our church, we definitely want to be a great part and to be a foundation, and to have that, stand beside us when we're doing things that we can, push in our community. But we all, whether it's a job or a neighborhood or a group or a breakfast or someone, we can all, be a glow in the dark Christian out there. And that's what our men's ministry is about. I have, Kirk's the main, the leader of it. And, I'm good at coming alongside and help, direct and, apologize to people that we might go through, but I'm just kidding. No, he's great. And I give him a hard time. He gives me a hard time. And, where I fail or maybe aren't as strong, he is, and vice versa. So I think we make a good team. And we've got some really great men in our church that are unsung heroes that come behind us no matter what, and that are close friends of us too. But we grow with the Sportsman's Dinner event each year, which has been successful because of your and Kirk's leadership and vision, and then pushing that and being a part of it in our church. Name being behind us to push the men's ministry and to get that out there and to be a great avenue. So we're so appreciative of that. But we've got some things to plug into and be able to grow, and we look forward to that. No matter what happens this coming year. Been an interesting year for COVID for sure, and haven't had as strong as we wanted to with our men's fellowship, because we've had to keep that down a little bit. But as things are opening up, and we're going to ramp that back up, and be involved and just have that chance to get out there with us for sure. But in a roundabout way, it's just a matter of each man has gone through something. We want to be able to share that. Get you in there, and then be able to be a rock for another man to lean on when he's going through something that he needs help, that we can be that support group, as you might say, to do that. So,
and that's why I think God's really just blessed our men's ministry, because you guys are so humble, so transparent, so willing to be used of God. It's not about you. It's not even about our church. Like you said, Matt, it's about the kingdom of God. And, if men in this community, across the state, around the world, whatever, want to be affected and involved in any aspect. So one of the cool things that you've heard the guys mention, the Sportsman's Dinner. It's an annual event we started about 6 years ago, maybe 7. Kirk had a vision for this. We started it here at the church. It's really it's the whole primary goal is it's an outreach to invite men to hear the gospel. We use sports as the draw, whether it's somebody as a speaker to come in, whether they're in the hunting or in some kind of a sporting field. The point of it is to really gather men, draw them in through a connection, and share the gospel. I think our first year, Kirk, correct me if I'm wrong, we had about 200 plus.
Yeah, we only had about 170.
Okay. And then every year since then, it was here at the church, and every year we've almost just kind of saw that kind of God just doubled that as far as the men caught the vision. I think the first year might have been a lot of our church members. The next year it was kind of like our church members inviting their friends and neighbors, folks in the community. And then the last couple of years due to COVID, it pushed us outside. We never stopped with the Sportsman's Dinner. We do it in August. Even in 2020, we decided Kirk had a vision for his property, even when he bought it, just to use that as a ministry. And so we've been able to utilize that many times throughout the year. And so we had it out there in 2020 and had over 500 men. And then this last year was probably our biggest year out at Kirk's property. And so it's been a huge event to draw men, to encourage them, to challenge them, but also to share the gospel so that, we know there's many men in the community that don't know the Lord. And maybe through that event, they're going to hear the gospel. So that's one of the things we're passionate about through our men's ministry is like Kirk and Matt have said, if we capture the heart of the man, if the man surrenders his life to Christ, we have so much better of a chance of reaching that family than it would be through the child. And so we want to invest in men. So Kirk, one of the other things that you've mentioned is the Saints Prison Ministry. Just want to ask you to give us a quick, help other people understand in short what that ministry is about.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate it. Saints Prison Ministry, you can go check it out, saintsprisonministry.org. It was founded in New Jersey area 30 years ago, and they've been doing it. Now there's like 30 teams around the country where teams get together in summer. Some are softball, some are basketball. There's even a couple of soccer teams out in like the Midwest. But we go into a prison as a softball team, but it's really just a bunch of guys that are warriors for Christ. And some of us aren't even that good at softball, but we enjoy the time and the fellowship and the opportunity to go and share for Christ. And with these other guys around us, we go into these prisons and it's us versus them kind of thing. It's the Saints Prison Ministry team versus the inmate team with inmate umpires and inmate scorekeepers. So we don't always get the best calls, but hey, we have a great time doing it. And it really is, it's really just a men's ministry. People I know kind of have a lot of trepidation maybe about going in, but they're just guys like we are, and they've made mistakes, and most of them are remorseful for those, and they're paying the penalty for that. And they just want to hear from guys from the outside. And we are able to go in there and we're able to talk with them, meet them where they are, pray with them, share the gospel with them, leave the gospel with them, and just have conversation at times. And some of those conversations are difficult. And many times we see guys, surrender their life to Christ. And there's other times where you have conversations that you don't even expect. Our church, for example, does a birthday card ministry for the Saints Prison Ministry. And I've had multiple conversations with guys who say, hey, I want to thank you so much because last year, the only piece of mail I got was a birthday card from you guys. And it meant so much to me. And they will actually bring their birthday card out to the field and get the guys to sign it, because that's what they've got. That's their only touch outside of the prison laws. And it just means so much to them. And you'll have other conversations. I remember one that really set me back. I'm talking to a guy probably 4 or 5 years ago. I said, how can I pray for you? And he said, I get out next week. And I said, man, that's great. How are you excited? And he said, why is that great? Why should I be excited? He said, my family's disowned me. I don't have any friends outside of you. I don't have a job. I don't have a driver's license. I don't have a change of clothes. Nobody's going to want to give me a chance. And so when you look at it from that point of view too, you're like, man, we just don't even understand the things that they go through and the things that maybe they desire, and how can we help them in that way too. And so there are, some areas in the Saints Prison Ministry that we allow them a different avenue when they get out to be able to reach to somebody to maybe get the job, to have some opportunities outside of the prison walls when they do get out. So there's just a lot of ways that the Saints help out, whether it's getting a birthday card, whether it's offering some opportunities outside of prison, more importantly, sharing the gospel and leaving that gospel in those facilities for those guys, and just knowing that hearts are being changed.
I've been able to go on one of those trips and look forward. We're actually, Kirk and I talked right before we started this video that we're going to be going in maybe late February of 2022. Kirk, you have to be a softball player to be able to go?
No. Come on, let's fill a bus up and let's go. You can play softball as much or as little as you want. We also have what they call Saints in the Stands. So you can sit in the stands with all these guys and create relationships and create time of sharing the gospel and praying with these guys and really just hanging out. I mean, it is, if your spiritual gift is hanging out, you need to come hang out with us, because we're all about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's been an incredible time. The excuse is softball. Our excuse to get into prison is softball. After that, it's really just to connect with men. So yeah, we don't, talent is not required, right, Matt? That's why.
That's right, Aaron. Thank you.
Now Matt went last year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, it's great. You had Jonathan Moran next to me when I entered the first gate, and I think he thought I was about to pass out. I think I was white as a ghost, and he said it was going to be all right. But I'm going to back up real quick and just say, like, we do the men's ministry selfishly, me and Kirk, and I'll speak for him, and probably you too, Aaron. It's the best way to try to grow and sharpen yourself is to get around other men that are believing in the same thing and that can help you through that. Me and Kirk aren't perfect. And we do this because we want to be around it and be around other cool guys too, right? So that's why we do it. And the other thing with the Saints prison ministry is you get to bond with the guys that you're with better than you ever thought that you would. Me and Larry Newsom have a friendship that, started before, grew during it. And so he's a good mentor and a good person to have. That's what you have. He was Saints in the stands, and now you're a better person for it because of that. And Tim Hester, who was a part of that trip, it's just you get friendships that you didn't think you're going to have going there. You come out being stronger, not only for yourself going to minister to a prisoner, but you get spoken to yourself. So that's the good thing about it. And as Kirk and you can attest, you don't have to be a great softball player like Kirk and Joe Walker do and Jonathan Moran. So they let you get the water bottles there just like they do at home.
Absolutely, man. You're a great athlete. They let guys like me come, and it changes my just it opens my heart and mind up to how we can do ministry in so many ways than you never thought. So those are just different ways you can get involved in our men's ministry through our annual Saints mission trip, men's ministry, and then through our sportsman center, and then monthly we do the fellowships. So those are some great ways. And then obviously the guys have mentioned the D groups, the discipleship small group times that they do. I know Matt's leading that weekly and stuff. So many ways to get plugged in, so many opportunities to be a part of our men's ministry. So that's really everything that I wanted to share. Any closing thoughts, Kirk?
I'm just appreciative to be a part of, again, this ministry and this church. And just like Matt was saying with you, I mean, you and I really from the beginning been kind of side by side on these kind of things and bouncing ideas and thoughts off of each other. And then to have Matt come in, years ago has just been amazing. I mean, I think we make a really good team, and I'm so thankful for that. But I do want to reiterate, exactly what Matt just said, that we're not perfect. I mean, golly, I screw up every day. I wish I didn't, but I have to get on my knees and ask for forgiveness for those things. And man, I just I want to continue to be a warrior for Christ, and I need guys like you around me to help me get there. And I need guys like we out with on Monday nights or Friday mornings or whatever, or fellowships or at Saints Prison Ministry. And so if you need those things, you need to come side with us.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I know, just to close, our mission here at Fayetteville First Baptist is to help people move forward to Christ in our life. Where our goal is discipleship doesn't end with me. It should carry on to the next person. And that's what we've seen just in a nutshell in our men's ministry. We've seen men like Kirk and Matt be invested in, and now they're investing in others. Every one of us have an opportunity and have something to give. We're all called to make disciples. We're all called to go and tell. We're all called to grow in our faith and to move forward in our faith, but also to bring others along with us. And so these guys have exemplified that in their lives because of what they're doing, not only through the life of this church, but in this community. And so that's how we're striving to make disciples in our men's ministry. And I'm just so grateful for these guys. These are great friends, but also great leaders. And because of their investment, we've seen so many others, as they've mentioned, who have stepped up. We all have something to bring to the table to make our men's ministry better. I certainly don't have all the gifts. That's where Kirk and Matt, we all complement one another to make this men's ministry just what it is. And you know what? It's not complete without you. So if you're watching this today and want to be a part of this, you are invited to be a part, welcomed, because we need each other. No man can really be on an island. And so we want to encourage you to connect to our men's ministry. There's a place for you, So anyway, thank you for joining me this month in our Journey On Conversations. Thank you all who joined us for this month's episode. I want to thank Kirk and Matt. You guys are awesome, great friends, and let's continue to journey on. I know God's got some great things in store, and I'm excited to see what they are and excited to be a part of them and excited to do that together with you guys. So until next time, the journey is the destination, so journey on.